Hello, welcome to Intimacy and Marriage with Pamela Ewuta. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, today we shall be talking about how to enjoy emotional support, how to set up emotional support, and how to enjoy emotional support. So, what is emotional support? Emotional support is providing assurance, reassurance, love, and support to anyone who might be in need of it, who might be feeling blue, who might be feeling down at a particular point in time due to some emotional stress. Every time, once in a while, occasionally, we all feel crappy due to emotional stress, due to different things happening in our lives. Sometimes we see it coming, sometimes it just hit us like a bolt of lightning, and we don't know what to do. We are in a messy and dicey situation and we cannot help ourselves. And so in such situations, we're in emotional stress, maybe due to guilt, anger, something that would have happened, something had woke us up emotionally. And so we are at a place where we cannot cope with our own self. And so we need the help of another person. So how do you set up this emotional support and how do you enjoy it? And if by chance you find yourself in a situation where you need to help another person, how do you go about supporting another person emotionally? So, how do you set up emotional support? Emotional support system will be for people that are close to you, people that understand you, people that are able to connect with you emotionally. It could be your spouse. Definitely, your spouse should be your number one support system emotionally, because you are able to connect with them at various levels, and so they know they are in a better place to be able to treat you, to support you better. And so your emotional support system are those people that you can reach out to, or those that can even see the signs in you that you are in need of a sort of support, and so they are able to support you. And so if you are part of an emotional support system, what exactly is expected of you? Remember those cliches that when someone is going through something, you just sit down and you now start saying, I know how you feel. Oh crap. You don't know how the person feels because you've not been there. You're not feeling what they are feeling. So there are some cliches that we say, and I know you know a lot of them. So I think you should think about them and remember them. I know how you feel. I have been there before. As in, sometimes, definitely all the time, when you are part of an emotional support system for someone, it is more of what you do not see than what you see. Empathy is very important when you are supporting someone emotionally. Empathy means you are feeling, you are there, but you're not going to say anything. In empathy, you're just going to listen. Because sometimes when someone is having emotional stress, emotional outbursts, they just want someone that would listen, someone that would sit with them, someone that would give a hug. You know, when you touch someone in a certain kind of way, the person feels this love hormone, dopamine. And so when someone is feeling crappy and stressed out, another way to support them is to just hold them, touch them. The person feels, I am not alone. Someone is here. The warmth of another person. Humans, we are meant to connect. So in connecting, trying to support this other person emotionally, you touch the person, you give a hug, you give a pat, and you sit down and you listen. Don't be in a hurry to find fantastic, wonderful words to bring out, to say, to make a speech. No. The person that is hurting emotionally really doesn't need words from you. He or she has enough words and feeling that he or she wants to pull out, you want to spill out. So be quiet and listen. Validate how they feel. Do not say, snap out of it. No, he or she cannot snap out of how they feel. So just be there and listen and empathize with this person that you're meant to be supporting. And as a spouse, you sit with the person and you listen. You are able to connect more to the person than any other person around, because if you already enjoy intimacy, that is why it's important to be emotionally connected to your spouse. If you already enjoy emotional intimacy with your spouse, you're able to feel. And so with that bond that you already have, that deep sense of friendship that you have with your spouse, you are able to just sit, pat, hug, and help your spouse out of the miserable feeling, anxiety, the anger, the depression, the anxiety, whatever it is, the emotion that your spouse is feeling at that point in time. You are able to help him or she out of it. So recently, I found myself in a depressing situation as well. Without any warning or anything, I woke up middle of the night, and it's as if my dam was full, like Whitney Houston's song. My levees broke, and I just started crying. And my husband was shocked, as in he looked across the bed and like, what is happening? Apparently, I had had so much to deal with in my heart. Sometimes I could just keep to myself and not really talk about things. Not because I want to be secretive, but I tend to just sometimes keep to myself and not want to talk too many things out. And so I think I'd gotten to that point where my emotions had gone to their end, highest weights, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And so I just started crying, and I was crying, and all he could do was just sit by me. He sat by me and held my hands, and it felt good for a while. When you are emotionally stressed, when you going down an emotional tunnel, it's like going down a rabbit hole. You just see yourself pulling down in sadness, or you're just welling up. You're welling up. It's not something that I can explain to you, because even at that point you're feeling it. You cannot understand while you are overwhelmed with so much stress or tearing up and all that. And so I was just crying, and all he did was just to sit by me and hold my hands. It felt good for a while. And so when in between I felt a bit out of that rabbit hole, I sent a message to my support group. And yes, it was middle of the night, and the first person responded at about maybe 6 a.m. and I was able, because they are not physically with me. I said when you need a support, sometimes it's just about being silent and sit beside the person. And so for me, the first message I got was sort of a validation. So when you are supporting someone emotionally, you validate the person. And so I got some words of validation and affirmation, and it helped me. But the thing about emotional outbursts or emotional stress is you are just going down in unexplainable anxiety or emotions that has just like it had accumulated, and you just break out and you're just going down, and it's like until you've had enough feel of the tears of the tears and a bit of sadness that you feel, you're not able to even comport yourself. And so I felt that way like almost the whole day. I was just sad almost the whole day, and everybody just kept supporting with words and affirmation. And as a person of faith, I just kept being pointed. I kept affirming the words that I know that God is there for me, and it's going to be okay. However I feel, however crappy I felt at that time, it was going to be all right. I didn't need anybody to tell me, snap out of it, or deal with it. I didn't need all those cliche words or acts to be pulled at me. And so everyone in my support system were very good and nice to me. And gradually, I was able to pull out of the rabbit hole, and I could see reasoning. And so when someone is in need of emotional support, sometimes they're not even thinking through whatever thing is happening to them. They're just stressed out. They're not able to cope. And so that is why you as a support system is there to hold them up, to sit by them, for them to lean on, for them to speak, just say whatever is in their hearts. Sometimes you say a lot of rubbish when you're emotionally stressed. I can attest to that. And so they are going to do a lot of things, but you need to be strong and be there for the person you are supporting emotionally. And so when we draw this up to the partner, as a partner in a relationship, if your spouse needs emotional support, please be there, give your shoulder, give the hugs, give the nice and gentle touch. Don't be too in a rush to give a cliche word of advice. The person really don't need it at that time. They just need you to be there. They just need to know that someone else is there for them. Someone else is there willing to pull them through or out of the rabbit hole which they find themselves. So if you are here, my listener, going through some emotional bits and pieces, and right now you're not in a good place, I need you to, just when you have that relief of falling through that rabbit hole, I need you to reach out to someone that you know can support you emotionally. They need you to be able to, if you feel nobody can support you, you need a clinical psychologist or an expert in this field. I have some group of friends who are good in this aspect of psychology, and I'll be putting up their contacts in the description area. I need you to reach out to them. It's important that you're in a good place, because it's only when you are in a good place that you can give of your best within your relationship to your spouse and your family. It happens to the best of us, not because we planned it, but because it just happened that so much is being thrown at us, and coming from the pandemic that's been ongoing for over a year, a lot of things have happened to us in different aspects of our lives, and we all need to be there for each other to support ourselves. And so be a good friend, be a good spouse, and support whoever needs your support, whoever needs you, whoever needs you to be there for him or her within your system, within your ecosystem. Show love and show support, and remember, they don't need your cliche. They don't need your words, fantastic words to be spoken at them. All they need is for you to just listen, give a shoulder, give a loving touch, and it's going to be all right. So, is there anything you'd like to share with me? Have you ever been in the rabbit hole like I was recently? I would love to hear from you. How did you get out of it? And I'm good now. I'm in a better place now, so I'm able to talk myself out of anything that might want to pull me down. I didn't see it coming. I see myself as a strong person, but I never saw this emotional stress coming my way, but it did, and thankfully I'm out of it, thanks to my wonderful support system and my loving husband. So this has been our topic for today. Until I come again next week, enjoy every bit of your week.